Good morning. Hey everyone, welcome. Hope you're good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Nice to see you. We'll talk a few things. Obviously, this title, crypto bull market, it's only just beginning. Talk about it. Talk about obviously what I feel is happening overall in terms of essentially, let's just say, simple lines of, I don't know. It feels a bit different. A lot of things are happening. So before we crack on, obviously I'll wait for a few people to jump in. Let me know where you're from, let me know how you're doing, let me know if you're making some good profits, because this market is pretty ballistic. This morning I even talked about how this morning wake up was lovely because it made such an amount of money with the Asian pump essentially throughout my sleeping period, which was nice. But yeah, it's great to have a lot of people on. Obviously, again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Slap that like button as many times as you can. Get as many likes in this video as humanly possible, which will be always nice, because that makes life much better. But it'd be great to see who's here, and I'll have a look at the stats in a second. But yeah, always good. So the main element that we want to talk about throughout this is obviously how much of this dynamic has changed in terms of last year versus, not so much last year, but 2017, 2018, last time we'll go, then what's actually happening also in the world of crypto, as in now, if that makes sense. So be nice to see. Personally, I know people are flapping because obviously things have gone up and up and up over the period of the last, 3 months, give or take? We'll say 3 months. But throughout 2020, it's been a great year. Throughout this year, it's been great as well. And people are waiting for those pants to be pulled down, those rug pulls to happen. So I know people are understandably thinking, oh God, profits, oh God, help, oh God, tax, oh God, this, oh my God, oh help. So we will kind of discuss my overall thoughts in terms of, are we done yet? I don't think we are. I think it's only just begun, as the title would suggest, because the undervalued assets in BTC are pretty good right now. I've already mentioned it. We've already looked a few times. And even though in the comments people are like, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Well, that reality is starting to become a little bit true. We're starting to break above this grey box, which is, as I've mentioned a few times, by the way, new layout, hope you like, we've not been above this level since 2018. It's a big, big, big level. And this is going to mean the dominance of Ethereum changing massively. And that's a big thing, you know. And then when we start looking at, obviously, the world of DeFi and how much is locked up, it's like, oh, a lot of things are happening right now. So on the 8th of February, very, very soon, a few days' time, Monday essentially, CME futures for Ethereum is going live. Now, what happened with Bitcoin? The market dumped, right? But the market was totally different then. It was just all Bitcoin essentially. We had the entire altcoin market push from that. So the profit from from Bitcoin, went right into the altcoins, and then everything went ballistic, right? And what I mean by ballistic, this is what happened. When we go back in time, this massive dump here, boom, huge dominance drop. So what we're seeing right now, we're seeing a nice dominance drop right now. Quite severe compared to the last one. This is pretty severe. So we may well be seeing a little bit of history, fingers crossed, repeating here, that we may get quite an aggressive parabolic move with the altcoins, with the spillover, with Ethereum, CME futures, with money coming in, with a beautiful purple website, DeFi Pulse, getting more and more and more locked up in DeFi. It's just going up one way. And I did a video start of February. Was it February? Maybe the start of this month. Not too long ago. It was literally, I remember doing it. Maybe the end of January, we'll just say. Maybe start of last week, right? And I was looking at this and it was like 24, 25 billion, right? I was like, that's impressive. And then I'm looking today and it's like an extra 10 billion. I'm like, what on earth? This is a different market compared to the world of what we know from 2017, 2018, if you were in this market back then. So when people say the theory is, oh my God, it's going to dump aggressively, it's probably not because of the interest, because of the money coming in, because of the institution, because of the likes of Grayscale, because of the likes of MicroStrategy. It's a bit different. The adoption is better. I only just found out today that on Ledger Live, you can lend. You can get 12% back on USDC. I've also just found out, I know, I've only just updated my app, you can do exchanges. So I don't have to go to an exchange now. I could just exchange it on the ledger. So I could just plug my ledger in, go Bitcoin into whatever I want, into a stable currency if I so wish to, if I want to. I don't have to go, boom, out, all the way to the other side of an exchange to Binance. Great. The market's evolving to make it much easier for us to do things, to keep money off exchanges, to make that supply shock happen. Really is good, in my opinion. And that supply shock, put it this way, we haven't had one yet. And when we have one, you're going to know about it. And you're going to know about it all the time. Because that scarcity number of Bitcoin, that scarcity number of Ethereum is just going to keep drying up. And we're already seeing lockups. We're already seeing this. We're already seeing staking for Ethereum. So yeah, be good to know your thoughts. Always good. But as I say, like the video. I don't like to hype things up. I know I get criticized for not being like the American counterparts to hype things up. I should hype things up. I should get more excited, more emotion. But I'm an investor. The whole point of being an investor is not to show much emotion. Although, I will be honest with you, this week has been a cracker. Been an absolute cracker. Absolute banging. And I've already mentioned it on my Twitter this morning that, you know, great amount of money being made. It's good. It's always good. But we've got to be careful. Like anything. Don't ape into coins. Don't, you know, risk money you can't afford to lose, essentially. Don't follow dickheads on YouTube who will tell you that things are going to go to the moon when in reality, well, they've probably just been paid for it. But I'm not going to rant too much about that because obviously, no. Anyways, let me know some suggestions in the comments. So obviously, slap a load of comments what you want me to obviously talk about in terms of potential coins to look at. More than happy to have a little look at a few if I can. If I know them off memory, I'm not going to look at some random thing like Titty Coin. But we do need to talk a lot about, you know, growth. BTC stacking the Satoshis, which is what I do. And this week, as I say, it's been a good week, and we're seeing already a lot of good tokens. As of my last live, I took profit on Voyager. Really happy I did that. It's roughly, give or take, the same sort of area where I sold it. Went a bit higher, but I had to take profit. Because I bought at like 800 sats. You know, selling at that level was like a 10x in terms of valuation in BTC. So I was like, yep, thank you, I'll take that. If things change, if the dynamic changes, if it goes down in price, I'll probably buy more because I do like the project fundamentals wise. But sometimes you just can't sniff and take profit. You know, you got to go for it. When things just go parabolic, sometimes it's best to just kind of get what the market gives you and get it and keep it and hold it and be happy with it. Other things are pumping well, though. Obviously, the DeFi world, you can see that. Obviously, the likes of Maker, Aave, you know, Compound's done well. Obviously, Kyber Network as well. Kyber Network was something that I really, really liked, but ultimately the fees kind of killed it last alt season. They've changed a bit since then. Always good. What else has done well? Cardano's done very well. I mentioned Cardano in a few videos recently that they've got something coming out. Little hints by Charles. Little birdie tells me something's going to be good in February. We're starting to see the rewards of that, which is always good. So yeah, there's a lot of things in the market, in the media as well. And this is Satoshi values, by the way. We go to USD values. Bitcoin's been pretty good and stable. It's obviously going to be a bit more inflated because of that extra, you know, USD kind of level there that we can add to it. So as you can see, again, all the same sort of levels. And I know I blow people's mind by saying that the BTC value is virtually the USD value, depending on what Bitcoin is. But again, we're starting to see that good reflection here. So overall, I'm very, very happy and great to see all the comments, but make sure you like the video. Only 87 likes. Come on, there's like 300 people in here. Let's get some likes. Pluton. Okay, I'll talk about Pluton, right? Because I bought some more because it was low. I don't know whether it was me that made it react or whatever, but ultimately what kind of happened was... Oh, my internet's just died. Bear with me. Apologies, my internet just dropped off there. I do apologise. So, going back to what I was just saying there, with regards to Pluton, I bought it, I put it in my Learning Crypto Premium group that I was going to top up my bags using the Voyager profit. So using a part of that Voyager profit, not a massive amount, I won't be lying, it's not a big amount. But in terms of portfolio valuation, it's a low cap coin. We are at 8 million market cap here. So the idea of a low cap coin and a micro cap coin, essentially what this is, it was, or probably still is, let's be honest. you don't put a load of money in. You do not put a load of money in because it's risky. You're backing these to essentially deliver everything over a long period of time, to do what they want to do with the staking model, to do the elements of onboarding users, being in bigger countries, bigger continents and stuff like that. So thought, fuck it, I want to buy some. Why not? What can I lose? Nothing. It's a profit at the end of the day. So I bought some, and since that 2 days ago, yeah, things have kind of popped a little bit, but I'm quite bullish on it. Whether it's just going to be a quick flip over the period of time, it may happen, maybe 3 months, 4 months, who knows? Depends on the dominance, as I always say. The dominance is key here, because if the dominance does start to turn around, say for example the dominance chart goes down to like 57 and below, into the 50s and starts turning around because altcoin profits have kind of spilled over again back into Bitcoin, I might take half my bag out of Pluton and enjoy the rewards and just wait for the next period to come in. Because when you look at the USD chart, or I'll look at BTC chart first, this is a monster. Look at it. I've mentioned it on previous lives. So again, guys, you know, I use a card. It's the only reason why, you know, I've bought the token, because I use a card to get rewards. I might as well hold it as an investment because the rewards going to get distributed, because the staking model's going live, all that good stuff. Fuck it, why not? I'm a part of it. Let's own the token as well. So you're seeing here, it's had a massive jolt. That's literally a 70% move, and we've got a long way to go. There's an extra 1,000% potentially here. Crazy. Do you get Pluton on Uniswap? No. Qcoin. I got it on Qcoin because the fees are extortionate. So I had some profit from Voyager, as I mentioned, moved over to Qcoin and bought in basically the USD pair, and I'll keep an eye in BTC. There is some BTC exchange, but they're not the greatest at the moment. Hopefully they get more exchange listings, but again, it's all risk reward, isn't it, at the end of the day? But I am invested in Pluton token. I showed my whole transaction on my Learning Crypto Premium group 2 days ago. Other questions? Hello everyone. I hope you are very, very well on this Friday. So let's have a little look. RSR is pumping. Yes, I was a bit cryptic the other day. I do own a bucket load of RSR. I'm still waiting though for this to happen, right? I mentioned this before on a live. This is the level we need to break out. I'm hoping we do it because we've had a big run. We've had a decent pullback, a nice little liquidity grab potentially here. And a break above this level would send us, right? I know this is limited information, but ultimately there's been a big drop, okay? That was when Bitcoin was rampant. Pop. That would be good. That would be a great gain. And obviously the USD pairs you can see here, we're looking quite good. We've had a massive decline here, but we've also retraced nicely on other indicators to say that we have, you know, in my opinion, probably bottomed out, essentially, maybe you can probably argue. But it's a bit of a messy chart when you look at this candle. It's been up and down, up and down. It's very, very weird. But we're starting to see, in my opinion, we have got a bullish divergence appearing just slightly there. Very, very slightly. Like, it's freaking very, very slight. But it's looking good for a retest, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens overall. I'm quite bullish on it. Long term. Developments, app releases, obviously, mainnet. Ultimately, all that kind of information is kind of key for a growth of a coin. It's still, in my opinion, the use case of RSI is pretty much minimal. You know, it's still early days. It's still in the marketing phase, still the building phase. So for me, you know, it's another risk reward. I've been positioned in this for quite a while now, so I'm quite happy with my position. So just sit and hold, essentially. What other questions have we got? Please check my super chat. I haven't seen a super chat. Oh, sorry, there may be one there. Bear with me. There we go. Appreciated. Lina. Is that Lina or Luna? Because I've never heard of the one called Lina before. I think my internet disconnected as it went a bit weird before. I've never really looked at this, to be fair. Let me have a little gander. Wow, that's had some severe growth. I'm guessing this is pretty new. Yeah, it's relatively new. Monster move. Decentralized Delta 1 asset protocol. Yeah, I don't know much about this. It's on the Huobi exchange. Let me have a little look on TradingView. I can put it in right. If you want to look at this in terms of, so let's have a little look on. Oh wow, it's a monster growth. Relatively new listed though on Huobi. That won't help matters. Let me have a look on... Wow. Obviously, your call. To sell or not to sell, it's obviously up to you. Trading profits or investment profits is always down to the user. You know, everyone's got a different circumstance, different world of feeling, essentially, if you're happy. But it's obviously growing. You're probably in a nice chunk of profit there. One thing as well, obviously, it's coming onto bigger exchanges. You can see here it's not been listed on many. It's obviously it's only on a couple. Liquidity is obviously going to be quite scarce because of that, essentially. So you may well find that this might get listed onto more and more exchanges, and there may be more opportunity to make even more money, and the dominance is still dropping. So obviously the hype is there. I don't know anything about this product or project, essentially, but as the dominance is going down and total 2 is going up, and this is rising, you may well find that this is still potentially could go up. Obviously, it's hit a ceiling twice here on the USD chart. But that being said, if it is still a full-blown alt season and you want to protect yourself, take a little bit out. Just take a little bit of profit out. There's no harm in taking profits out at the end of the day. But yeah, I hope that has answered some of your questions. But the one thing that I do as a tactic, and I think everyone should hold this as an information grabber, just take a little bit out. If you are in a position where you've made 100, 200, 300, whatever percent, no harm with taking 20% out, just to remove a little bit of that risk off the table to make it better. Yeah, everyone goes, oh, but I want the full bag. But ultimately, sometimes just, you know, like with Zilliqa for me, if I want to, I've not done it yet, I could take out 10% and still be in a huge position, but a lot of the money then, the equity that I invested in it, is pretty much off the table there. Therefore, I can then be a bit more free and just let it run and not worry too much about it. It's all about that, really. You just got to be careful. Thought on Matic. I'm not the biggest fan of Matic, I'll be honest with you. The reason why, and this is not to disrespect anything to do with what they're doing or what they're building, it's mainly their jurisdiction. It's predominantly Indian, isn't it? So it looks good, it's doing well, but the only reason why I don't like it is because India have this little skitty moment every 3 months. Oh, let's just ban cryptocurrencies. What? Why? That's just I just don't see it. So I always feel that that would potentially impact a little bit on the price every now and again. So that's the only reason why. I'm also, personally, layer 2 solutions, they may well be, you know, dissolved at some point in the future. If you think about Ethereum 2.0, you think about what Polkadot's building, Zilliqa as well, Elrond, they're all layer 1 blockchains. You know, a layer 2 solution maybe has an expiry date. I don't know. It depends on how it works. But that's my overall kind of thought on it. But when I look at Matic, I like the branding. I like what it aims to do. I just think that with it being where it's kind of like been based before and stuff, it's kind of like, well, what if things go wrong? It's at the end of the day, we're seeing Indian projects get, you know, literally not so much delisted, but they get suffocated because of the legislation over in and around India. That's just the only thing. I'd rather not risk that at the moment, especially when a news article came out last week that they're looking to change the laws again on the legislation in India, which is crazy. Let me have a look. Other questions. There's some good questions that have been hidden, which is always good fun. Loom, interesting. I've not looked at Loom for a while. I'll have a little look, actually. Loom Network. Ooh. Not quite sure. Maybe something to ignore for now. The volume's pretty low. The volume's really quite low considering. Yes, it's got a lot of interest because it's on Coinbase Pro and stuff, but sometimes when you see a coin like that over the period of that we've had and it's hardly really moved, it kind of doesn't fill me with much hope. Personal opinion on that. What else have we got questions? By the way, guys, remember to slap on the like button. Do you think Nano would reach all-time highs? Oof, question. That one is a good question because Nano is a great one in terms of obviously speed. It's micro payments. It's micro kind of, you know, the competitors are essentially XRP. I've just said it, right? It's fast. It's efficient. But it had a monstrous rise in the bull run. It's a long way off. But that being said, it's not impossible, is it? We've always said about the parabolic nature of this market, how it runs, how it moves, how it changes. If that dominance drops massively and a lot of money goes into altcoins, everything will go up. Everything, and I mean everything, right? Everyone will become an overnight genius. We're like, oh my god, all these Twitter accounts will make such a big wave in followers. Like, oh, I'm a genius. But at the end of the day, use cases, fundamentals, and the team will always make a coin tick no matter what market it's in. So when you look at the likes of, obviously, Nano, it needs bigger volume elsewhere. The fact that it's on DigiFinex as a top volume is kind of an alarm bell. It's not the biggest exchange in the world. But you got to look at elsewhere. Where is it listed? It's still listed on Binance. It's listed on Kraken. It's listed on Huobi, OKX, KuCoin. You know, it's on big exchanges. It just needs more. It just needs more demand, more usage. But that being said, I have used Nano to send money once, and it actually impressed the living shit out of me because it was like 2 seconds. It was so quick, and that was like the quickest I've ever had it. So yeah, fundamentals are there. The product is there. It just needs more oomph. Have you heard of Benchmark Protocol? James, thank you for the tip, you legend. If I could put in Benchmark, there we go. I've heard of it, but I've never researched it. That's the thing. The ultimate game here I'm playing with life is everything's busy. The world in crypto is getting faster, more efficient, more, you know, everything's just developing fast, like super, super fast. It's hard to keep up. So I hear of tokens all the time. This is relatively new. I don't know much about it though. That's the thing. And ultimately, it's on a tear. I can see that. It's obvious it's on a tear. So probably not the sort of thing you want to ape into right now if you've not bought it. But again, it's on Uniswap. Fees are in consideration. It's not on many exchanges, but I have heard about it talked on the world of social media. For me, I wouldn't buy it just yet. I'd wait for it to go on centralized exchanges to save on fees. And most importantly, I'd wait for it to come down a little bit. But obviously, if it is all to do with like yield farming, all kinds of stuff like that, there's always going to be interest in that, especially when you look at the fact of this. You know, this is going up and up and up. So we've got to be careful with what you buy and what you don't buy at the same time. You know, you've got to look for those trustable assets. But in terms of analysis, there's not going to be much there. The dominance is just dropping. Ethereum is running. Oh, I'm getting excited now. Getting excited. Cardano's looking incredible. Obviously, Polkadot's doing well. $20. By the way, if you bought into that, rock on. That's one of my favorite coins at the moment, Polkadot. Zilliqa still looks quite good. It's not really popped as much as it was this morning. Still looking quite good. Ivan has. Oh no. I hate adverts. You know what's funny, right? Everyone complains about adverts in my video because I always get Tiki-Tari or Ivan on tech. It's funny. Thoughts on, is it Akash and network? You know something? Never looked at it. I'm going to do it now though. It's looking bullish. It's relatively new though again. Another one that's only been out like 6 months, if that. Decentralized cloud computing marketplace for the Ooh. You know something? I hate researching coins when I've got my bags packed. Everyone will say the same thing. You probably remember this. When you've got all your bags packed and you're waiting to go and you're waiting for the departure lounge, it's like forgetting something. It's like, oh shit. You know, essentially, when I do this, I like to buy things. Like that's why I bought more Pluton token, because I profit for, you know what? I got the smallest bag in the world of Pluton. I want a bigger bag. Boom, I bought it. I wasn't going to add another token. I could have added a few tokens. I didn't. Again, decentralized marketplace for cloud computing is kind of a big thing. When you compare the fact that it's got, you know, DeFi within this, and it's going to be essentially not going to have any problems. Essentially, you could probably argue that, dispute that, because everything runs on something. You see already AWS, if that goes tits up, you know, so it's good. But Cosmos blockchain, a lot of the exchanges run on the Cosmos exchange, well, on their element, their protocol essentially is pretty quick. But yeah, I'm not going to comment until I know more on this, but it looks pretty decent, pretty promising, as in a use case. Obviously, I've not done any research, so do not take any of that with a pinch of salt. But that being said, what do I look for in research, boys and girls? You should all know this. Exchange exposure. If it doesn't have much exchange exposure, it's relatively under the radar. you may well find that this, with a good product and a good set of exchanges, may well be on your radar in the future. That being said, anyways, hi everyone. Wow, it's quite a few here today for a Friday. It's usually a lot less than normal. Because obviously I do it on Sunday, I get a lot more viewers because obviously people are at work. But yeah, leave a like, it does help. It helps me grow a bit faster at least. Uniswap fees are obviously created. Could you suggest what to look for in exchanges for low caps? Personally, I only really use Qcoin for low cap coins because I don't trust other ones, because I think it's just me being in the space a little bit too long and understanding what happened with the likes of Yobit and Hit BTC and taking fees off people and being a bit naughty. You've got to really try and use like limited amount of cash, essentially cash, to try and get these low cap coins anyway. So you've got to remember the first risk is actually putting your bollocks in the wall, essentially. It really does feel like that in a way where you don't know what's at the other side of it. Because I've seen horror stories on a lot of smaller exchanges like Cryptopia and stuff like that just going completely tits up, right? So you've got to be careful with these lower kind of level entry exchanges. This is why I use essentially Qcoin. I've only just noticed something. I've fucking just noticed it. Have you all seen that? This fucking thing here. Oh my god, honestly, it's I've only just noticed that. Unbelievable. That's just the way the world goes right now. It's crazy. Everyone wants Dogecoin. Rubbish. How do you prepare I can read. How do you prepare when alt season ends? Have you started dollar cost averaging out of positions? Yes, I've only done one, which is Voyager. So obviously that was a monster move. Obviously mentioned it before. I got a 10x in BTC value. Thought, you know what? Fuck off, get out. You know, I'm happy with that. That'll do. That will allow me to sit on a bit more Bitcoin as I can go, and I use this tiny bit of that percentage profit to bung it into Pluton to grow a better position, essentially. I bought Ethereum at 930 euros. I couldn't read that for a minute. Don't know why. I don't know if you're late to the party. Probably not. Depends on where you see it in the future. If you see it 3-4 grand in the future, you're all right, essentially. What other questions? Mainframe, is it on enough exchanges or markets? Now, I only know that a certain influencer used to shill this in 2018, so I don't know much about it since. Huge volume though. Fuck. Monster move. So it's on everything now, isn't it? I remember this getting shilled by Superman back in the day. Didn't do anything for ages. It literally did nothing, and it literally looked like a dead project. It's obviously mooned since. Interesting. I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole though. Look at it. Look at the state of it. It's massive. It's so much in value. It's crazy. Crazy. Do I have any new coins under my radar? No, not at the moment. Maybe, but I've not researched them yet. I've got a list on my desk that I need to research, but they are just, I've not researched them yet. Compounds and Kusama. I mentioned before, I didn't know that Ledger, you can lend on it now. So Ledger Live. It's all done. Wow. I've just realized the price. All done on the Compound exchange, on the protocol, essentially. So if you got Ledger Live, you can go onto it, press lend, and you got DAI, Tether, and USDC, right? So it all uses a Compound protocol, which is quite good. But this is monstrous. Fair play. I've always been a fan, but I've never really invested in it. I've always liked the protocol and how it works, and which is why I got a little bit giddy before when I saw Ledger Live doing this. Oh, it's brand new. It is really brand new. And obviously Ledger Live, you can do exchanges now on that, which is quick. But for me, you know, maybe the protocol is probably better than actually investing in this at the moment, because I think you may well find that this is quite heavy in price. But that being said, I said this with Aave. Aave has just carried on going. So it's entirely up to you, your call in terms of that. Again, obviously Kusama was been mentioned. Kusama is obviously the baby version of Polkadot. Really is, like, I love anything to do with Polkadot. I think this is brilliant. This again is just going from strength to strength. This is giving me more and more confidence that this is going to be the benchmark for Polkadot growth. The steady incline, the growth. Everything in the world of the Polkadot ecosystem hasn't kicked off yet. When you think about the bonding periods for the ecosystems to go live, the selling and to do the auctions to get on the ecosystems, going to create a lot of publicity and a lot of interest, a lot of volume, a lot of money coming in. That ecosystem is going to go crazy, essentially, and you're going to see more and more assets going on it. And with Kusama, it's virtually their second chain, the secondary chain, the test chain as well in some ways. You've got multiple chains to test it on, so when it goes through the stage of its life cycle, it's just going to get better and better for when it goes live fully on Polkadot. So they've got a bid for it. They've got an auction to get on that main Polkadot parachain, or the substrate, essentially. So it's pretty damn cool. Really, really excited about that. Do I think that Ethereum ceiling futures will affect the market? I don't think it will in terms of last time if we're comparing the BTC CME. But ultimately, we always kind of shit ourselves knowing that, oh my God, it's a big event. We've had a big rise. Will they pull the plug? As I mentioned before at the start of the video, I feel that the money lockup going into the world of DeFi, the money kind of information we're getting out of the crypto market versus what we had in 2017 is a lot different. So we may well find it react totally fine and not continue going up, which is obviously why that dynamic of the dominance going up and up and up and up and up and up. Not that way, but going down. You know what I mean? Altcoins going up, dominance going down. You mentioned Kyber Network earlier. I have a bag, slightly concerned at the minimal finance locked in. That's the thing. Kyber Network, when you think about the start of the DeFi era, right? Start of last year, right? Start of last year, there was hardly anything in this, right? When you think about it. If I go, let's go for a year. Do we have a look at a year? Yeah, we go a year. There wasn't much in this. And I was talking on a podcast today with Andy about, we were talking about this, how it went over $1 billion for the first time. Back then, Kyber Network was one of the main ones. Back then, there wasn't Compound. There wasn't Curve Finance. There wasn't SushiSwap. There wasn't even Uniswap at the end of the day. Like, it was there, but it was nowhere near as dynamic as it is now. And you had all these other ones come in. But Kyber Network essentially was one of the leading ones to start off with. But the fees killed it because it was purely run on the Ethereum blockchain. It didn't have any layers on it. It didn't have any secondary layers to kind of, essentially shard it or plasma, whatever it's called in the Ethereum language. So that was kind of important, but it kind of killed it essentially. Because I was an investor in Kyber and I used to do the votes. You basically didn't get any profit because the fees were disgusting. It was horrible. Wasn't very, very good. But I think in a news update recently, they've actually sorted out a lot of the things. They did an update, which has obviously changed the dynamic a little bit. So it's pumped back in price, but it really did. It was doing well, and then it really crashed hard, because the fees were extortionate. And we don't know the problem with the fees at the minute. So maybe all right now. There may have been a great buy the dip moment there, but ultimately, not my kind of thing. I was into it, but yeah, found other things now. Bondly. Is it Bondly? Come on. Excuse me, head mate. Oh. This has risen quite hard, hasn't it? In all honesty, I've not done a lot of research on this. I know a lot of people are talking about it, obviously. Yeah, I know. Influencers. It's alright. Soldier Boy is on Zilliqa, isn't he? Lunatic. Absolutely loony. Powered by the Polkadot ecosystem. Obviously, it's interoperable with pretty much everything, to be honest with you. I have not done enough research on this to comment. However, what I will say is, I think anything that's going to go on multiple chains will probably do very, very well, because it's going to be all over the place. It's going to work. It's going to be efficient. It's going to be fast. It's going to be less fees as well. So just keep an eye on it, certainly on that one. What other questions have we got? Hi, everyone. I hope you are well. I know I'm just this is just a total ramble. Essentially, we're going to just go through the whole entire market. Why not? Be a bit of fun, won't it? Do you think there'll be a dip soon? I don't know. Yes, because there's always a dip, but we've also had 2 days of dippage. We're coming into a weekend now. Hashtag send it. Hopefully. But we'll see. That dominance is dropping really severely today, and Ethereum's going on a nice ride. New all-time high Ethereum, isn't it? Boom. Is it? Of course it is. Dickhead. Put me at all-time high Ethereum ticker there. So first target, by the way, I'll put this out there. Extension level 1 is very, very close to hitting, as you can see here. Apologies if you can't see this because my freaking chart. I'll make that a bit bigger. I prefer doing it on a big screen, so I like a small screen, so it doesn't like. I've got a huge screen, by the way, huge screen. But But yeah, all-time high is pretty much at that extension level. If I move this out a little bit, we'll probably see it on a monthly time frame. So in terms of this, it's a monster. But we are getting very, very close to these extension levels. Target level was obviously 1,780 levels. The next one was actually 1,980. And then we got 2,200. But this is USD prices. It depends on that BTC pair, essentially. But it's a monster move. And in terms of how to find and locate this move, using the extensions, it's just that. Cool. So we've flooded through. We're off into price discovery mode. And they are potential profit targets for people to look at as percentages. Nothing too great because price discovery mode, you can't really go too far on it. It gets really interesting really, really quickly. Again, dominance chart on the monthly time frame looks disgusting. It's looking good, doesn't it? Looking good, man. It's looking aggressively dying. We want it to break below 57 this time, though. What extension percentage is that? So I'll put my extensions up. So I'll put my settings up so you can see it. So they are my extension levels. So I've got two variations. I've got the minuses, which is from one side, and I've got the normal extensions, which is the default ones. 1.272, 1.414, and 1.618. And the minuses are just a 0.27 and 0.68. So essentially, when you go one way, right? So let's just say the trend is going. Let's just say we're looking for an impulse retracement. So essentially it's gone from high to low, essentially. So if we're going, let me just kind of map this out for you. If we're going from a high, which is this point, down to this low, and we're turning around, so like what the Ethereum chart was doing, you know, these are all resistance levels from the past. So 618 is a big one. We've flew past that. We've currently flew past the 1. We're going towards this level. That is essentially what we're doing on Ethereum right now. We're going to that level. We could be going higher. But you've also got the other situation where you got the retracement. So the retracement is from the other way. So this is when it's obviously gone up from the 1. A little bit of a fib lesson for you all. Down, and it's going to pull back either 23, 38, 50% potentially, or 61%. And then you've got other extensions for the higher swing to go towards the next levels, which is 0.618 or 0.27. They work very, very well. A little bit of Elliott wave in there, a little bit of ABC patterns in there, a little bit of this, that, and the other. But I'm quite a fib guy. Like them a lot. So yeah, they're my fib levels. Hope that helped. What is a simple strategy to cover profits? Sell little and sell when it's high. Simple as that, really. Simple as that. That's all you can do. Again, if I'm looking at, obviously, Cardano here, where we at, we flew. Oops. We've just flown past the first extension level. So you can just about see it, where this little line is. There we go. So it's there. So essentially what this was this was a low. This was a turning point. We've turned around. We hit the 382 on the nose, and we fucked off, right? On the weekly time frame, we went bang. Off we go. I said in a video, 60 cents looks like a target. It's looking like we're going to go there. Again, the same situation here on the Binance chart, Bitcoin chart. This is the top. This is a low retracement. We flew past 618. This is a 786. This is the level 1, and then we've got extension levels up here. So we could be looking at maybe this previous level of rejection, 1,900 satoshis, and then we've got obviously 2,200 satoshis. So that probably blowing people's minds now. Feel free to leave a like if you like that sort of shit. If you like the fib, best indicator ever. What other questions have we got? I'm kicking myself not getting in Maker when it was, yeah, Maker's always, if you're bullish on Ethereum, Maker's always a good shout. How about DOT? Will it? Yeah, DOT's going to go. DOT is going to go. So what was DOT done here? We haven't got much data. So essentially, if I do a little bit of bold analysis here, we've had a nice retracement here. So this is a previous level of resistance here. But it's actually, if I kind of just nick this top bit here, bear with me. If I look on the weekly time frame, it looks quite neat and tidy actually. So we've had a retracement into this level. It's actually pretty damn bullish, this chart, essentially, if you think about it, because we've formed an extra high on these bodies. So even though we've got very, very limited data. So when we start thinking, where can we go? Well, we're looking at that as a potential level. But if you start thinking, well, that could actually be the catalyst here for a potential run. If I just put that there. Oh, where's that? If I just put that there, we could be looking at these levels up here. So if I just move that there and move that down, we could be looking at some much greater levels of us going from essentially from tapping this level last week to going up to these levels and continue the trend going, which could be quite interesting. But when you look in the daily time frame and you look at it, it's had a nice liquidity grab, and if it breaks above this level, it's going to continue going. So when you start looking at trends and sort of information on trends, well, we've got to look at where this move actually started from. That bloody cursor does my head in. Go, 1 second. So what we've had here, we've had, obviously, this is going from the low to the high. We retraced literally into this demand zone, essentially, a nice little wick in. And yeah, all the confluence is kind of adding up here where we can kind of see, even on the daily time frame, it's very, very close to those weekly levels. So for me, if this BTC chart carries on going up, and when you think about it, it's been slowly dropping and pop, boom. If we continue going up, guess what? That USD chart is just going to go even higher. And this one, again, it's on price discovery mode, essentially. So when I start looking at where this could go, I've already mapped it out as probably 27, maybe even higher than that as well on other extensions. So could be quite cool. Could be quite cool. We'll see. But yeah, we've had a nice little extension kind of run. But if I just look at this and go back from a bold chart on the USD side of it, on the weekly time frame for Polkadot, it's been ridiculous when you think about it. When you think about in terms of where we have been, you know, if I go from this previous level where it's kind of been stopped, it literally got front ran pretty quickly on the 23%, which is kind of good because it's really, really bullish at the end of the day. So we look at this level here being quite important. Cool. But you got to look, where can it go now? Well, most likely $23 on the USD side of it is probably the most likely place to be. And the obvious up there, you can kind of see it. It's kind of obvious. Basically $29. Maybe. We'll see. Depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dumps, it may not happen. Probably will at some point in its life cycle. It definitely will, I think. Cool. Bit of Polkadot for you. Happy days. That's what we got. Obviously, there's other levels lower, but there's no point going too low. Be made by Maker. Aye. Thanks for the donation, by the way. Legendaries. Obviously, guys, please do obviously leave a like on the video. Let it go further. Let it go further. How's Algo looking? That's a good shout, actually. I've not looked at Algo for a while. I might have some old chart analysis on this, so bear with me. Nope. Wow. Savage. Absolutely savage. This is a thing. I think people are starting to realize this now. Bear with me. Let me zoom in on this so you can see it. So when you start looking at coins and you start looking at overall values, it's disgustingly low. If obviously I don't know much about Algo, I've not looked at it for a while, I don't know what the current developments are. But when you think old alt season and where we've been and where we are, we're getting a crossover to the upside on the world of the EMAs, which is always quite good. But if we're looking at basic analysis and thinking, well, let's retrace this previous alt season. Let's just go, well, no, we'll go from this level here. We've had 2 taps here. This is just a liquidity grab. We'll ignore that one. When you look at that, we're nearly at the first level of resistance. But when you think overall, from current live price up to the 618, could be 100%. So that's could double, essentially, double your Bitcoin if you've got it in there, which would be quite good. So there's definitely areas to go there. But for me, you know, a lot of altcoins look like this. This is why I'm suggesting, and I feel that, I think the dominance will carry on going down because these are low historic levels and they're starting to trend up again. We all know what happens when the trend trends. Quite good. So this has had a few monster moves, as you can probably allude to if you go into the lower time frames. You can probably see how this is kind of, obviously from this monster liquidity grab up to this point, it's had a monster move already on the BTC pair. It's already had a big move over the last week or so. But yeah, that's a huge liquidity grab. That's crazy. Mental moves. But yeah, just be vigilant for these BTC pairs because they don't look as neat and tidy all the time. But at the same time, when you start finding flaws and they start trending up like this, you can make a lot of money. Look at that from January onwards. Let's just say from the start of the year, right? January, right? Give or take where this bottom level was. You know, like 100%. It could still go another 100% from current price levels if the trend obviously continues. You just got to be careful. As you can see, a lot of coins are looking like this on the BTC pair and now the USD pair. Obviously, they're both the same because of the way it's going. Is it too late for Voyager? Maybe, don't know. I sold out of Voyager, I'm afraid, because it was way too bullish for my liking, and I thought, well, I bought it very, very low, so worth taking profit. But the market's looking very, very good. Very, very healthy. What do you think about Digibyte? It's alright. Not a game changer at the end of the day. It's old. Got a lot of history. It's interesting. But for me, love it or hate it, I don't know. Not the sort of thing that I would invest in my opinion. But that's my opinion anyways. It's a fork of Bitcoin, obviously. Interesting, but me. Drilling it in my head for the dominance, yeah. It's crazy, the dominance side of it. Once people get the head around it and get the head around, it's not so much like, it's more of a parameter of buying and selling. It's like, when do I buy? When do I sell? It makes it much easier when you've got the same alignments. Much easier. What trading platform do you all like? Well, obviously TradingView is pretty decent. Don't really trade off that though. Cardano looking incredible. Thought on selling? I will sell at some point. It depends on how much this chart goes up. I will put a little bit into BTC. I still stake this, so I stake quite a bit, but I also think it's still majorly undervalued. If I look at this and zoom in, yeah, great, it's popping, but when you zoom out, you see like this level, and then you see this level, and then you see all this up here. It may well actually go really, really interesting, like high-wise. It may go crazy. What else have we got question-wise? Thoughts on Engine and their current real estate partnerships. Not looked at Engine Coin for a long time. Again, not really my sort of thing that I'd invest in. Again, I do rate it though. I do think it's quite good. I think it's got a good level. Obviously, it's been out for a while as well. It's got a lot of rises. I remember this rise. This was obviously the Samsung partnership one. It was crazy. But NFTs and stuff like that is obviously a big thing. That's coming more and more into the market. So you may well find some really, really good volume access with this. But that being said, I don't know much about it. If they are doing partnerships with obviously real estate and people are wanting to use blockchains for that, it's kind of a big step forward. But again, it's had a monster rise in a very, very short period of time. So that could be very, very interesting to keep an eye on as well. That's a thing. There's so much out there. Opinion on staking. Staking's good as long as it's with a private wallet and it is your wallet, not the not an exchange wallet essentially, which we all know that they are pretty shit. But that's my opinion on that, because they always give inflated versions of staking and what staking actually is. What do I think of Litecoin? It hasn't pumped yet. Litecoin follows Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin's a bit boring, Litecoin's boring. When Bitcoin's bullish, Litecoin is bullish. So that's always going to make things much easier for you to understand. Reef MFT I've talked about, and 1 inch. 1 inch. What a name, by the way, that is. But 1 inch, no space. Not really looked at 1 inch, to be honest with you. Obviously, I know where it is, but in terms of an investment, I've probably missed the boat essentially on this. But the way it works is pretty decent. You know, when you start thinking of like, oh wow, pretty cool, isn't it? If you're thinking volume, liquidity, the growth, and how it's going to kind of grow as an investment, it's probably going to do all right as people get pissed off with fees, because they can use this to obviously counteract some better lending fees and stuff like that. But again, that being said, it's done a monstrous rise already. It's already up 13% today. When we think about where it was on release, it was $1. So already up what 5x essentially on its value. Again, you look at markets, where is it on? It's already on a lot of big exchanges already. So yeah, for me, probably leave it alone. But that's my opinion. You know, nothing really. But in terms of use case, sometimes you'll find things are better for using than buying and holding. It's just one of those things. But sometimes you see people that absolutely just get in really early and that's it, you know. But that being said, I've said this with Aave, I've said this with a lot of DeFi sort of coins around this sort of sector. The bigger the DeFi sector goes, the more these will grow as well. So sometimes it's all about buying the dip essentially, or dollar cost averaging at a great buying order. essentially. I've not heard of GTM or GTH, sorry. CRV, I've not looked at that chart for a long time neither. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little gander at the Tether version. Wow. That is starting to look interesting already. Yeah, it's starting to pull up. This is this kind of reaction that we're getting that probably altcoin seasons here. That we're getting a lot of coins just looking like this. Even on the USD chart, even on the BTC chart, it'll probably look very, very similar. When you start getting a gauge for it, there you go. They're all starting to show bullish crossover styles, starting to get more and more liquidity volume and stuff like that. That's always great, which is kind of cool. Guys, thank you for all the comments and stuff. Obviously, leave a like, please. I've only got 343. Want more than that. We always want more than that. Want to get more likes than... I don't even know what my biggest like count is. Probably about 2,000, but that's never going to happen. Oh, GRT, you said. GRT. Let me have a little look. I don't even know what GRT is. A coin. Is it Graph, is it? It is Graph. I've covered Graph. So I did a video on Graph when it first came out. Everyone was aping into this, right? Like properly aping into it. And it was always going to do well because of what it is. Obviously, when you think about it, it's pretty cool. And this is what I did. Oh, wow, it's played out lovely. Haha, yes. So I've not looked at this for a long time. So I did a video when it was like this. It was like, everyone, I want this, I want this, I want this. I was like, guys, just relax. Take your knickers out of a knot and wait for it to pull back. The fact that it pulled back all the way into like 23 cents is a low, but the 618 level, which is why the Fibonacci is so important. But look at it. Bang. We're going up to there. So this will probably go way over $1 in my opinion, because I do rate it, but I don't hold it. Obviously, my bags are packed as I described. But again, DeFi. Everything going nuts for DeFi, innit? Which is good. But to know that hopefully people listened to one of my videos a while back saying that, yeah, guys, just wait out, chill your beans, chill your tits, essentially, because, yeah, I did a video in December. It was one of a really good performing video, actually, because people wanted it. But people don't like being told, wait out and just chill your beans, essentially, because you want to get, you really do want to get the best possible order in any market. Doesn't matter how experienced you are or what, you really, really, really need, essentially, the best possible order. I always say this and people go, what? I'm confused. The profit's made in the best order, because essentially when you make that order and it's a good order, it makes life easy, because if you've waited for the best possible entry, you're going to make life much easier. You really are. And you'd imagine, right, buying at like, say, 60 cents, right? And it goes all the way down to 23 cents. Yeah, I know, all hodl bags and stuff like that, great. But fundamentals in your head, you may not feel the same way. You may go, shit, it's Christmas and I've just blown 40% of my budget. Oh, balls. That could happen, and it does happen. And I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy that that has done exactly what I wanted it to do. Perfect consolidation zone for ages. These consolidation zones in altcoins, in alt seasons, are great. Absolutely great. Polkadot did it. Cardano did it for a while. RSR's doing it right now. I think we may well get some absolute monster. Wow, I don't even want to look at the gas. Let me have a look at that gas. Fuck off. Fucking hell. Apologies. If you got kids near you, sorry. That gas fee is disgusting. Absolutely horrible. I've already talked about KNC. It's doing alright. Maybe wait for a retracement. Thoughts on Reef? I've had a brief look at it. I've not had a big look at it. I mentioned it a few lives ago that I need to look at it. I've not looked at it. I do, though, like the naming. I do like the branding. I do like what they're aiming to do. It's relatively new, as we know. But in terms of this, I'm a big fan of Polkadot, as we know, ecosystem. But as I say, and I've said it before in previous lives, I buy the hay bale and not look for the needle in the haystack. So I'm not really looking at Polkadot ecosystem coins at the moment. I'm just buying Polkadot because I know what's going to happen in the future with Polkadot. Boom. Hopefully. My opinion anyways on that one. Especially when things tend to go pretty crazy when you think auctions and stuff like that for those parachains. Zilliqa. Everyone wants Zilliqa. Zilliqa's amazing, man. you've not invested or even looked at Zilliqa, I suggest you have a little look. The reason why I say this is because when this poly network Ethereum bridge goes live, you're going to see much bigger token flow from the Ethereum network, which is key. The shards are getting faster as the transactions get bigger. The NFT collection's getting bigger. The ZIL swap's getting bigger. Everything's getting bigger. It's a big ecosystem what they're building. It's only a matter of time before it pops. And we're already seeing a great recovery from the previous levels. And we've got a decent amount of volume coming in, considering there's no real big thing happening just yet. It'll go. It'll pop. And I think that it will bridge that Ethereum gap. Obviously, Ethereum is currently nearly at 200 billion. Zilliqa's not even over 1 billion yet. So we may well find coins like that with sharding capability, with layer 1 solutions, with their own decentralized exchange, with the interoperability with Ethereum to trade those ERC20 tokens on their own platform. We'll probably get a lot of that slice of action and probably grow pretty nicely, in my opinion. It's kind of the obvious, really. Volume metrics are going to change massively in that, in my opinion, anyways. It could be very, very interesting. It's also very, very cheap to use. I'll have a quick look at Aave. I looked at it before, but I've said this a lot. I missed the boat massively on this bad boy. Knew it as Lend, or Ethereum Lend back in the day, a long time ago, but totally missed the boat, essentially, because when you look at the world of DeFi and you think, well, where was it back in March 2020 when COVID-19 went, haha, have this, humans? You know, DeFi wasn't really out there. I was at a conference in Manchester 2019 with my company. Obviously, I need a new logo, a new hoodie for the logo, essentially. And I remember Jeff from CoinPass doing a talk on DeFi. And this was before normies heard of it. I obviously knew about it because I was in this space, but look at it now. Bang. Absolutely huge. If you were investing into the likes of Aave back in there, or Lend back in them days, and then you were obviously jumping in anything DeFi, whew, mega rich. Mega rich. Food Busker, is that you, fella? No. I do need a shave, though. God. If I was getting literally paid on my looks and appearance, I probably wouldn't get much. I'll be honest with you. Appreciate the new members. Obviously, YouTube memberships is basically so I can see you on my lives, so I can write stuff in my community. I don't really write that much. I should do. And obviously, I do videos once a month. So I basically put a big poll out. Right, what do you want, guys? I'll talk about it. I think I've done 3 so far, so once a month. But that is not to get confused with learning crypto, as in this company. I've got a premium on there, which is different. That is done by me and my team. I've got a team of like 5 other people, which is pretty damn cool. There's loads of stuff happening. There's like 3 different Telegram groups. There's trades, there's investment tips, there's lessons, there's live Zooms. There's an indicator as well, the Hitman indicator, which is pretty damn cool. So yeah, I do all kinds of different stuff, not just YouTube. YouTube is actually secondary to me, if you're unaware of that. I only started my YouTube like less than 2 years ago, and my company was founded like 3 years ago. So pretty, yeah, circumstances in life have changed recently with the world of my YouTube channel. Looking to obviously help as many people as I possibly can. But you know something I often said, like last year, I'll never do a live on YouTube. I just don't fancy it. I prefer it. It's a lot more fun, a lot more engaging, a lot more fun. And I do appreciate everyone who does turn out, because it's really, really nice. Staking Zilliqa, right? Question. That's a good question, right? I stake Zilliqa, but not loads of it. The reason being, obviously, the unbonding period, because it's there for the network security. It's not the easiest thing to kind of just jump out. It's got a 14-day kind of period to unstake, which is like kind of normal. I think other ones are longer than that, but you don't want to be holding all your staking in that section away from your wallet if it goes bang. Let's just say it goes on another rampant run and goes from, let's say, 8 cents to 16 cents, for example, right? It could happen. If that does happen, well, you want to be able to sell it at the same. You want to take profit. You want not so much sell it, bin it, whatever. But if you want to reward yourself and being able to be happy with like what the market gives you, do it. I always advocate taking profits because it's key. Like, no one gets rich overnight, but at the same time, no one gets rich if you don't take profits. It's like the same phrase. You know, no one goes broke taking profit. They don't. Simple as that. And the way I am in my portfolio, where I am today, where I've been in the past, what I've talked about in my previous mistakes and stuff in my video yesterday, I wouldn't be where I was if I didn't make them mistakes, and also if I didn't do silly things like holding bags for too long, for example. It's kind of cool. MFT, I've covered that just before. Pumping like crazy, don't know why. Crazy, I know. It's one of those things, if you've probably not bought it, it's probably gone. Other questions, can I check Neo? Maybe, it's been a while. Do you want to know a cool fact about Neo? This was my first ever altcoin off Coinbase back in 2017. So early 2017, I bought Ant shares. Ant shares was about $4 to $5 before the rebrand to Neo, and it went up to $200. It went fucking crazy, as you can see. I don't know much about Neo these days. I held it, I binned it, I took profit. I've not touched it since. As you can see, it was known as Ant shares. In terms of price analysis, I may well have some old charting on this. I don't know yet. We'll see. Is it? Oh yes, there's ugliness on it. What have we got on here? Some random black lines, which are actually somewhat pretty true still. Pretty cool. Anyways. In terms of this, USD prices, we got on a trend, as you can kind of allude to, from March, the pullback. Oh. I love that. 618 on the nose, and off we go. We're currently testing this previous level of structure, which we rejected a few times. We may well see some levels go up towards $31 or $39, okay? Which is kind of obvious, but you've also got to think, well, where can it go? It can go a lot further. In terms of the BTC chart, which is probably where the value is in this kind of section, bear with me, you're going to probably notice something. Yeah, you have. Sorry. It's still very much undervalued. Even when we're looking here on the weekly time frame, oh wow, at the old levels here, as in the old kind of alt season from the past, which wasn't that long ago really, it's still got a long way to go. It's still got a few levels to kind of pick up. So if we're thinking this is a full-blown alt season, we go from this level up to here, you may well see a 150% increase in the price of Silica if Bitcoin stays roughly where it is. So if you got Bitcoin, you may well be buying a very, very undervalued Neo here. I mean, this is low. Like in BTC values, this is freaking low. But I don't know if that's good or bad. I've not checked the fundamentals for a while. I bought it. I bought the hype. I sold it. It's kind of died off a little bit. But that's what research is there for. But price analysis would suggest if you've got spare Bitcoin, it's not bad. Not bad. Is it worth staking Ethereum? Personally, I'm not. I think you can find better assets to stake. As I mentioned at the start of this, I've literally just found out that Ledger Live, 12% on your USDC, which is pretty cool. So I want to stake that. VeChain. If you've been watching some of my videos, you'll know that this is, in my opinion, undervalued. Starting to do a little bit of a run, so expecting a pullback. Obviously, it has pulled back a little bit. Where do we go next? Well, maybe up to this point up here. That's USD, but the one chart I'm more interested in is this bad boy. Forming a nice little trend, starting to look quite good. Support levels have been found. Obviously, you know, you got RSI divergence, which is looking quite neat and tidy. Still got a long way to go, in my opinion. I think the likes of VeChain always as well in an alt season. We may well find doing quite an aggressive move like last time, but we'll see. All depends on what developments come out, but there's always developments with VeChain. Partnerships are pretty damn good. It's always good to see, let's be honest. Fundamentals of it, I hold it, I rate it, I back it. I've been in this for ages. I mean, I've actually been holding part of my VeChain since 2017 when it was Ven, back when it was old VEN ticker, and it was like $11 or something stupid like that because they changed the supply. But in terms of recent history, all-time high levels were breached. Obviously, went up to like 3.5 cents. Could be very, very interesting, but things are looking great. Apart from XRP, if you're a holder of XRP, you probably feel pretty disgusting right now. But it's looking pretty dirty, as you can kind of see. Look at that. So found, essentially what's happened here is we found a level. There we go. Probably just remove that for the confusion. So we found a level all the way up here and it's just zipped right the way back down. It's below this 50% level, which is kind of ugly. Not good, is it? Not good at all. Even though there's quite bullish news out on XRP recently regarding the SEC, all kinds of good stuff like that. Verge, oh god. In the 2017 bull run, did you set targets out? No. I just sold when I wanted to, and then I cocked up majorly by putting most of my money into Ethereum because I'm an idiot. Can you repeat the simple strategy again to cover profits? That was too fast. Just essentially, if you want to do profits and take profits, it's all down to you. The most subjective thing in the world because everyone's different. In terms of how much you put into it, that's up to you. In terms of how much your risk appetite is, it's up to you. The best thing to do, everyone should do this, is take little bits out at a time. So if you start, say for example, you bought Bitcoin at like $3,000 and you see it at 10K and you take a little bit out, take a little bit out. Just, you know, you want to remove that risk off the table. Once you got like your entire stake, like your stake amount, essentially the amount that you put in, out, it makes life easy. So the way I play this game is I never put money at risk in any coin. I always use profits. I always use something that I've made from the past, which has been sitting there for a while. Makes life so much easier. It really does. Like fundamentals wise, in your head, psychological, it just makes sense. And everyone will get to that position in life where when you've been in for a while, you will start playing with profits, and those profits go into lower cap coins or newer tokens because the risk isn't there, but the opportunity to make more is even better. But if you're making, let's just say in any market you are not taking profit and you've made like a 10, 20x, you really should be. I mean, honestly, because this market won't be as volatile. It won't be as crazy forever. It won't be. It never will be. You've got to be careful. I'm looking at RSR now. It's caught my eye, 19% up, which is quite good. Whoop. So even then, like if you're thinking like, in terms of my position on RSR, I bought at like less than 1 cent. I'm up quite a good chunk. For me, I'm quite happy with that. But when will I take profit? I don't know yet. Maybe, let's just say 10 cents would be quite a good place, and maybe look at taking my stake amount out and then let it run. Because I like to use crypto to buy other stuff, and if there's opportunity there to buy stuff, when that dominance chart drops and starts turning, I may well sell a little bit. Pretty damn good. I hold my coins in BTC value, yes, predominantly. I like to look at USD prices though, because it's simple for people to understand. That's why I do it, because people don't quite understand the BTC dominance just yet. No, you know what? No one's mentioned Dogecoin yet. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. Come on, I'm only joking. Anyone aped into Dogecoin, let me know. I want to know now. Tell me. I take profit into BTC predominantly. I will also take some profit into Tether, well, not so much Tether, but USDC coin. Essentially, if Bitcoin starts going bearish, I'll take a little percentage out, and if Bitcoin drops lower, I'll rebuy low. That's the only one I do it with. But predominantly, altcoins go into Bitcoin for me, most of it, unless I want to just, you know, the only caveat to that, and I mentioned it before, is if Bitcoin goes rampant and all my altcoins are worth so much more than USD, I would just put them into USD at the time. But that's only a small percentage. Here come the Doge requests. I track profit and losses on the Delta app. So if you go on to Google, so if I just actually go on to Delta, go Get Delta on your Twitter, Delta app. So this is free to use, it's great. This also tracks stocks as well. So essentially, all it does is it tells you exactly what you got. You can put in your input, your output, whatever, exchanges. I do it manually. I don't sync it up to exchanges because it's a pain in the ass. But it's decent. You know, it's a very, very decent bit of kit. Works very, very well. And yeah, crypto tracker. Boom, that's it. Cool. Nice and neat. It's tidy. Works very, very well. It also works all over the place. It tells you how much BTC you've got. It tells you how much Ethereum value you've got, dollars, and obviously your native currency. But that's only one part of it. Pretty decent. Works pretty well. Any other questions? What else have we got? Guys, slap that like button. Let's get over 500 likes. Come on. Over 700 people, only 447 likes. Come on, we've got to beat BitBoy, remember? Yeah, people are getting absolutely destroyed on Dogecoin. Should we talk about Dogecoin? Oh, let's go for it. Why not? obviously, the world of crypto is obviously being led by, as I mentioned, Dogecoin. If you go into CoinMarketCap, it's telling us here what's happening. You know, for me, these don't help. These don't help people get, like, they do, they help get you wrecked, essentially. I did a video on Dogecoin not too long ago telling people to wait. What happened recently? Elon Musk decided to tweet a load of silly bollocks about it. Whether it is a hack or not, if you feel it's a hack, it could be a hack. But it's looking pretty ropey, in my opinion. This is not looking good. When you look historically, this pumps. Like, obviously, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go to a different exchange. There you go. So this pumps historically, right? You can see that. All the time it pumps. All the time. Pump. Boom. New people are going to get wrecked here, I think. It's not going to go to $10. It's not going to go to $2, what people keep thinking. It's going to probably go back down to these average levels where probably 30 sats below. It's in my opinion, it's overvalued. It's scarily overvalued. So just be careful on it, and people will get wrecked. I mean, there's bloody porn stars buying it, for fuck's sake. Curve. I've just went over Curve. I think it was Curve, wasn't it? CRV. It's looking all right. Off we go, my friends. Very, very nice bullish trend. That is like the textbook perfect trend that you want. It's going to carry on going up eventually. It'll probably pull back maybe, but it'll probably carry on going. Looking at the weekly time frame, it's going to go. But again, when you start looking at the DeFi sectors and stuff like that, and obviously what's been locked up, Curve will probably do pretty damn decent, providing they've sorted out their issues that they've had problems with in the past, which we all have heard about. Rug pulls, etc. Again, BTC chart is looking pretty damn solid. It's done a massive rise the last few days, so you may well find that this worth a lot more in the future. Question is, how high will it go before it crashes? Well, that's why we take little chunkies of profits. The little bits and bobs, little things come out as we go, and then you protect yourself. For me, I'd rather hold Satoshis and then a bit of stable currency here and there and be quite happy. Obviously, some altcoins will remain for obvious reasons, but for me, kind of cool. Kind of damn cool. Last thing before I go, been here for a while now. The Btc Dominance Chat. It's looking tremendous. For me, hopefully, carries on going down. We want to get to 57, but we also want to break below 57. If it breaks below 57, I will be getting very excited. I think a lot of the hype in terms of the YouTube space, the Twitter space will go ballistic, I think, because it's going to be crazy. Already we're seeing all these low cap gems. Yeah, everyone looks amazing when they show a low cap when they've got no volume, but they've got 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 YouTube subscribers to buy it. It's obviously going to pop, right? It's always going to look good. So just be careful of those people. I'm looking at Polkadot right now. It's at $21. Good. Market's looking healthy. This is strong. This is very, very strong. But as I say, though, buy low. Buy the dip. Use money you can afford to lose. If you're positioned in the market, you're probably thinking today, I'm doing really well. Like myself, like a lot of people that I know. We're doing okay. It's looking good. But I'm going to end this video. We're back on Sunday evening. We'll see what happened. We may well have a huge fallout from this moment in time. If you've not yet done so, subscribe. It will help me massively get in as many subscribers as possible. Like what I say. In terms of that, I want to get more interest. More likes, please. Always helps. I don't want to hype it up too much. I'm quite boring, I know. But the fundamentals of all this market all depend on one thing and one thing only, Bitcoin. It needs to remain still. It needs to remain pretty boring. It is. We are all making some really, really good money right now. We need to enjoy it. If that being said, if you've woke up in a few days' time, or if you woke up now, essentially watching this live, and you've gone, oh my God, I've made so much money, and you can afford to take a little bit off the table, it's a weekend. Go and enjoy yourself. Go and do something nice if you can. That is, in the UK you can't. You can go to the shops and that's it. It's pretty rubbish. But see you later. I hope you enjoyed, by the way, this live in terms of timing. A little bit later today, more people on. So I'll see you on Sunday evening. We're going to crack on. We're going to have fun. Yeah. See you again very soon. But yeah, before I go, like and subscribe. It does help a lot.